Here we go again. Raw Talk with Respect with D Mainstream. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep it real with you. I'm wearing this Dallas Cowboy hat in respect to my boy, Dak. That went and got that money. Go get paid, Dak. That's what I'm talking about. Don't believe what they say that you can't go get paid because you're good at what you do and you know how to do it. So, tonight, let's have this discussion. And I ask that you listen before you respond. Because some things I will say to you will definitely be against, in some ways I believe, than what you already believe in. But whether they are or they are not, my real intent is just to make you think. Just take the time to think. Thinking entails before you answer, before you even conjure a thought to respond, fully hear the entire thought of someone before you come up with a response. Because a lot of times, including myself, which I'm learning to be a lot better at, is to listen first. My response is going to be there. I think a lot of times we don't want to forget if we think, because it's so important to us to get that point across instead of listening. So, are we programmed? Simple question it seems, but the truth is, are we programmed? I'm trying to get this, see if you get me in here real quick. Okay. Are we programmed? And if we are, what does that really mean to you? So I thought of a few examples. See if I can get this camera again with me again. Okay. Well, you know what I look like. Hopefully it'll get to me. But anyway, my words are more, I think, what I'm trying to get to as opposed to what it look like. So from childhood to now, in your mind, have you been programmed? What does that mean? Parents taught you a way of life, what you're supposed to do, how you interact with people. Church, work, school, government. All those things are something that you have had to make sure that you went through what they asked you to do, like a curriculum in school. Now, what if I told you, and what if those things were not true? Let's see if I can get this good. There we go. What if they weren't true? Kind of like the Matrix when they say the red pill and the blue pill. And for you guys that have never seen the Matrix, the red pill and blue pill is what Neo takes, one or the other. The red pill being that maybe everything that you know to be right now is not as it is. And the blue pill is, hey, I don't need to know that. I'm good with where I'm at. A lot of us are in that blue pill mode. Situationally, we're in the red pill mode. But what if what you've learned since childhood was wrong? Or not quite accurate? Would it change the way you think and interact with people? And your belief in what you can do in life? Did Columbus discover America? Is Pluto a planet? Did Benjamin Franklin discover electricity with a kite and a key? But we swallow that as if it's fact. Until we find it's not quite fact. Begs the question, what else is not fact? Now, you can say, I don't want to know, it doesn't matter. Okay, fair. This is not for you. In some walks of life, it's nature and nurture. Nature being predestined You are predestined to be something, hardwired to be some sort of person. And that's just what it is. Or the nurture is everything after that. The things outside, the exterior, that affects you, your psyche, and who you choose to be based on who you give credibility to. Which leads us to this. Who do you in your life give credibility to when you ask questions that really matter? And why? When ultimately you're responsible for your decision. The reason why is because we're afraid. And we don't want that responsibility. We want someone to co-sign and say, it's okay that I choose to do this because, hey, my friend said this is what they would do. And you know it makes no sense at all. And we're taught to do that from childhood. So if your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, which are amazing, and fathers as well, amazing people, they taught you what they knew. That's why they call it progress, because now you know more. So are you going to say, well, that's what I always do? Or are you going to change the game? We all know we have the capacity to do it. We're either going to be lazy or we're going to find a reason why we don't want to do it. But the truth is, if we don't know, we have people around us that know. If there's things in your life that you're saying, hey, I need to make more money, I need to do some different things, I would guess there are some people in your life that you know that you could ask, how are they successful? To whatever level and extent that may be, mentally, emotionally, monetarily. We're always evolving and learning. Why would you not ask? Because you're afraid of rejection, change, until you're forced to it. You gotta understand the people in your life are important because the truth is you play the same thing. You play the same space in them, in their life. You're trying to do something in their life that's helpful. Something they don't know. Something that you know that they don't know that they're learning. Which you do every day when you talk to children and even friends. Why not ask if you're willing to give the same knowledge? And I had this thought to have this monologue tonight because some people want to talk and do a dialogue. But I wanted to just get in your mind and think about this. If you were taught a certain way in life all your life, to be a certain way, it doesn't mean you have to discount that. But it's worth challenging it. You've been told all your life not to challenge anything, and if you do, you are looked at as a pariah or disrespectful. You fill in the blank, but you know what I mean. Very shunned upon. But in this information age, when you're seeing things out there that are not real, don't act like they're real. Because it suits your purpose. Because then that's about you. When you know it's not about you. It's okay to find out that something's not what you quite thought it was going to be. It's okay. Don't put your head in the sand. Because I'll ask you this question, people out there in the world. If you're keeping it 100% by yourself, thinking about this question I'm about to ask you. It's a very, very good question for you that I thought in my mind. And it's important. That question would be, how many people right now that you interact with, talk to, confide in, ask for advice, hold in high regard, Out of all those people, how many of them push back on you, differ in their opinions of what you say to them? Not all the time, but at times when it really makes sense. And then they break it down to you and it makes sense. And are confident enough to tell you that, and you respect them enough to hear what they have to say because they give it to you in a way where it's digestible. You hear them. They're not browbeating you, beating you down, making you feel worse than. But the truth is, everyone doesn't have that communicative skills. So regardless, hear the message. Get out of your feelings. Because we're taught that way. Someone's doing us wrong. Or why or what do they want from this equation, this situation? Maybe it's what do you want out of the equation, this situation, and you're not being truthful with yourself. The friends that are around you will call you on that are bold enough. And you will respect them. And they're not hating on you. And if the first thing you think in your mind is that they're hating on you, that's on you. And that leads to us being predestined, especially in our culture. Non-believing, fighting all the time, unless something happens. Death. Have you ever sat back and thought why? Some of the most intelligent people in the world can't get out of their own way and say, I'm sorry. And really mean it, regardless if they accept it or not, because you're only 50% of the equation. Why is it so important that we get validation from someone else? It's because you're taught that way. So if you're taught that way, you can learn something else as well. Your book is not done. At all. That's just a chapter. That does not predicate who you're going to be and why you're going to be that person. It just doesn't. Yes, that is my guard dog. That's about half of your elbow down there, making sure that no one breaks in the house. But let's get back on target. I want you to understand a few things that I've came to conclusion with is as much as you can control, which is 50% of what you do. You are the person that controls that. Everything else is not in your control for you to even think about. We are taught to think that way. We're taught to worry about those things, and that's why we die young. That's why we have so many health problems. That's why we stress so much. On top of the things that are necessary to stress about. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about women. I'm talking about every walk of life, every human being. Whatever fits you, it relates to you. It's about you. Because it's not a black and white thing, it's a humane thing. Because you're taught a certain way, doesn't mean your life has to be that way. Doesn't mean because your father and grandfather treated someone some certain way that you are predestined to be that same person. You know that's true. What I'm saying to you is nothing you don't already know and think in your mind all the time anyway. Just most people won't say it to you. You think it all the time. You just meet cool people sometimes that make you say, man, I really did believe that. And brings that out of you. But the truth is, I just reinforce what you already have in your mind. No clairvoyancy needed with that. It's just not. It resonates with you because it's true. And it's not hard for you to treat someone very, very nice and good if you like them. What's hard is for you to treat someone very, very good when you're mad and angry because you're taught not to. So can we change that? Are we afraid of the unknown? I think one thing is very constant in everyone that listens is we are afraid of failure. We are afraid of someone saying, no, I don't like that, or saying something bad about you. And if you can remember one thing, and I will reiterate this all the time, you cover 50% of that. In a 100% equation, you are 50%. If you stay focused on that, you won't worry about that other stuff. Because we are programmed from childhood to right now. When you look at TV, back in the day, they used to have a program. When you go to church, when you walk through the front doors, what do you get? A program. Plays. Funerals. Weddings. Some call it itinerary. But the truth is, most things are planned for you. When you go to a restaurant, do you order what's on the menu and think that's the only thing that you can have? You see how I'm looking at you, because you truly think that's what you can order. It's not. And I'm going to expand your mind, because what they tell you you can have doesn't mean what you can have, people. Wake up. And I don't mean the terminology being woke. No, just pay attention. People are people. Be good to them in their face. See what they do to you. I think it's going to work out in your favor. It's very difficult to be mean and nasty to someone that's good to you in your face. But sometimes it's tough for us to do that because we get in our feelings. And we'll say, no, I wouldn't do that. But you're lying ass. Because you will. Because you get in your feelings. And you show yourself. And for those that are paying attention, just like World Star Hip Hop, you're famous. You know how to treat people. This is not rocket science. I'm not telling you some game that, oh my God, this is revolutionary. You just pick and choose what you want to do and when you want to do it and who you want to do it to. And that's the messed up part. Because if someone chose to do it to you, you would be up in arms. Tell me I'm lying. I'm listening. Dak, I love you, man. Tell me I'm lying. The next time you get mad because you were taught to be that way and react that way to people that you get mad to, remember what I'm saying to you. Because you will do that unless you take a step back, and hopefully you're going to think about what I'm saying right now and you'll take a step back. Because nothing good is going to come from the other way. But what if what you were taught was wrong and you did the exact opposite? Because think about this. What you were taught and the people that taught you what they taught you, for the most part, is that something that you want to imitate and do and have the same type of life and interactions with people? Or are you different? I mean, for the people that are my age, are you a beeper? Flip phone? Are you an I right now? Come on, man. we're just being lazy. We don't want to think. We don't want to be empathetic. We want to say the words, but our actions don't belie that. Excuse me, they belie that. They do not portray what we say. Ways and actions speak louder than words. I always hearing that when I was a kid, because people can say, paralips can say anything, and you would always hear that. But then you understand what that really means. People say everything, but then if it's truth to that, actions would definitely be that in itself. Is there someone coming in? What's going on, brother? Come on in. Come on in, man. Got a friend coming in here. We're talking about our reprogram. What's going on, Jay?
What's up?
I'm talking about our reprogram, impromptu, spur of the moment. My friend coming over, Jay. Super chef, great friend. Some of you know him, some of you don't, but open mind. That's the people that I deal with.
Nobody does. For sure.
So I'm talking to my crowd out here, and I'm letting them know. You got it, man. Come on, man. Come on. There you go. So we're talking about are you programmed? Programmed meaning that from childhood, predestined, whether it be nurture and nature, predestined for wired a certain way. And if you can think any different, not there. If you can think any different, and if you don't think any different, do you just go through life and then that's what it is, and whatever happens, happens? Or do you learn something different and find out that there's something different there for you? And what that means by you is that someone says, hey, this is not true. Like, for instance, I want to put you on the spot. You can say yeah or nay, but did Benjamin Franklin discover electricity? Are you aware that he did or not? That's a setup question, by the way.
He's credited in history class with proving it through a scientific experiment frequently. I know that.
Okay, that's one.
Okay.
Christopher Columbus did discover America.
No, hell no.
Did he discover that America was not flat?
What?
Okay, so that's the second one. And the third one would be, is Pluto a planet?
I don't know. Maybe it's a moon. Maybe it's a big asteroid.
Pluto is a dwarf planet. It's not one. We think it is one. We've been taught that way in history books. Christopher Columbus, of course, did not discover America, but we've been taught that as well. The truth is this. We've been taught a lot of things in life. And those things that we've been taught are not true. Benjamin Franklin did not discover electricity. He did not fly a kite with a key. But how would you know different if you didn't get Encyclopedia Britannica and there was no internet? What if there was only 4 TV stations and everything that you read in the newspaper was edited and everything that you heard on the radio was time
Well, now
lapse?
we just have the opposite of that. We're just inundated with bullshit all the time.
They're time lapse. Time lapse being that it's 15 minutes past that you get that. And at the same time, the time lapse says, hey, we're going to tell you what you want to hear. The same thing with the news stations that you have now. You are conditioned to believe certain things in life, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. The terminology what we use is from back in the day when it was aggressive nature, what they would talk to people and what they would say about people. And then now it's a little bit
So
more
you're
easy.
saying-
No, stop, please. Go on. What I'm saying is this. Back in the day, there was an aggressive nature where you can use terminology of the N-word. You could say very, very aggressive things and do certain things and get away with them, because if you went to a jury, there would be no issue whatsoever. Because if you went to a jury, it would be an all-white jury and it would be no issue. You're programmed. Those people were programmed to believe a certain way. They had no way of thinking different. But in this day and age, we're able to think different because we have the resources to do so. So now that you know the information, it becomes not about what happened before or now. That is a premise of what you start from. But now it's either you're going to be lazy and say, I don't care, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't affect me, or because people in your life that you care about, whether they are that person or not, black, white, Hispanic, gay, trans, doesn't matter. You fill in the blank. But if you have empathy for a human being, strip it down. Doesn't matter if it's female, doesn't matter if it's male, doesn't matter any part of that. Take all of that away that we put on people. Black, white, Republican, all that stuff, all that spice, that seasoning, anything you want to think. That is what I am talking about. I ain't talking about all that other shit. This is de-mainstream. This is my shit. This is what I'm telling you about. This is what I'm saying to you. Strip all that shit down. Period. With no filter. And why can't you treat that person as a human being? As a person walking on this earth that you're supposed to, that you're taught to do. The reason why you don't is because you're afraid to. Why? Somebody might think that you're not okay. Somebody might give you shit about it. Somebody might say that you're this way or that way. And you're taught to be that way. Because to be that way means that, hey, that's what everybody does. And the masses is exactly who they talk to. I'll give you another nugget. Think about it this way. The people that defied those, that bucked that system, everyone in history, think about those people and what happened to them. Every person that did not go with the norm, that was big enough to get your attention, tell me what happened to them. You do your inventory, you do your research, just like you did your term theme, you made an A on it. Do that. And you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a reason that it's called program. But we just follow on in life because it's easier to do that. It's easier to do that. And that's what I'm saying to you. You got to understand a few things, or I would hope that you would understand a few things. From religion, when you go to church, and all the things that follow, from funerals to programs when you walk into a church to what you watch on TV. Right now, when you go on your television and you want to look at cable and you look at it, it is a program. Specifically. Why do you think that is that? So, I would hope by tonight, and what I'm saying to you is a couple of things. Even if you don't believe what I'm saying to you, which I'm not asking you to do so, I'm just asking you to consider a few things. If some of the things that you know to be true all of your life turn out not to be true, what's wrong with challenging that? If someone says you can't do certain things in life, why are you believing that? Because no one else has been able to do it in your family, or nobody else is going to do it around you? Does that mean you can't? Do they live your life? Do they pay your bills? They don't. We're situational a lot of times, people. We get high sometimes as far as in life. We feel great. And then at the littlest thing, we are ripped down. And it shows you really your foundation. Get you some good people around you. That's going to tell you some real shit. And it's going to be honest with you. But they know who you are and believe in you. And even if they don't, they believe in what you're going to be able to be. Those people you surround yourself with. The rest of the knuckleheads, I don't care how much you love and care about them. If they're not feeding you good food, you're not getting fed, kid. And you feel the way you feel every day or every other day or every other week. And you ask yourself why you feel that way. Because you're conditioned to feel that way. That's normal to you. Somebody opens the door, you're shocked. Somebody gives you a good tip, you're shocked. Somebody says thank you, you're shocked. Somebody calls you, you're shocked. Somebody shows up and says, hey, I was just thinking about you, you're shocked. Why? And it's normal. It's normal. You know it's normal. You know it's normal. When you do it, it shocks you. Why are they so surprised? We're so desensitized because we don't care about people. Or we do on Sunday for 2 hours. I'm looking at the audience. We do on Sunday. Stop the madness. So, maybe I'm one of those people that say the opposite of what you think or what you don't want to hear. But the truth is, you think it. You talk about it, whether it be internally, mentally, in your mind, to your friends, you think it. There's nothing that I'm saying to you that you don't think yourself. No doubt about it. That's a fact. So, these are my raw thoughts. I want to impart to you that I firmly believe that you need to take the time, if you will, to put yourself second and really find out if what you know is true. And if it is, what do you lose? And I'm not saying every single thing. I'm talking about the concepts of thinking. You're not conditioned to challenge anything that you think is not right. You have always been shut down. Whether you've been a woman, whether you've been a kid, and whether you've been in some walk of life where you don't have power. You get to a certain level and you're shut down because you're challenging something, and maybe you don't have enough money or enough clout to be able to do so. Unless it's so egregious that you have people following you that makes it possible. So with that being said, take the time to challenge that. Take the time to challenge everything. And the people in your life that are around you, if all of those people are telling you everything you want to hear and you have nobody that's telling you things that are not okay, you're fooling yourself. You know you are. And it's okay to have them. And the people that are those people, be mindful that you're dealing with someone's health mentally. Be kind to them. Tell them in a way where they can receive your information. Don't tear them down. The whole point is to build them up. And if you can't do that, keep your mouth closed. If you can't build someone up, move around, man. Woman or man, move around. If you can't build that person up, there's no reason for you to be in that person's life. Figure yourself out. And the other person that's that friend, be able to be confident enough to know that other people will be your friend. This world is a big world, people. And what I'm saying to you is that don't believe everything you hear, read, and see. Everything you hear, read, and see, even if it's on the internet, someone owns that. Someone promotes that. Someone promotes that. Someone does everything to filter in what you're going to say. Think of it this way to the old folks. Not old, but, older. You remember the albums and the music, all the old music, and how they would put the hidden meanings in the music, from Hendrix to ABBA to Chicago to NWA. These are things that are always happening, people around you. But we live in a society where we have to catch it on a recorder for us to believe. We have to see it for our own self to believe it's really happening, because we're so desensitized. We don't want to believe people are going to do it because it's not us. Stop. Stop with that. You're programmed. Take the time. Take the time to challenge everything. Simple. And I hope you do. So I'm going to end this podcast with a few things. One is, I really want you to understand a few things, or think about a few things, not understand. I want you to consider a few things, if you will. One is, are the people in your life really worth the fact of you being who you say you are to them? Which means they look up to you, or they respect you. Are you handling your business? Are you helping the people that don't know you? Are afraid to ask you that you know? Because see, it's a vibe, it's an energy. When you're around people, you can tell. You can tell people that you can help and they don't want to talk to you because maybe they're a little intimidated by you. And if you have something to offer to them, then I would say do so. Everyone does not have the ability to communicate like you do, or the confidence to do so. Help them. Help them. You're going to do what you're going to do anyway, right? Your job is to make them better. A manager is not a manager because he's good. He's a manager because he makes people better. Just like a CEO or any other walk of life. Pastor, only as good as his congregation. But it's not for the Christians. It's for the sinners.
My people.
I don't know if I said that out loud, but I know you know that anyway, but we talk about it, but the truth is, we say shit all the time and it feels good. And then the first time someone in your family or some of your friends say some stuff about someone else, go back to what you're programmed to do. Hence my subject.
Maybe.
Stop the program. And even if it's not what you're programmed to do, if it's not what you're taught at that 2 hours on Sunday, why are you doing it? Give me an answer for that. Any of y'all. If you go 2 hours on Sunday and he says this and you follow him, can you chill with him?
Dude,
and he goes 2 hours.
Sorry.
Okay, go out there.
I'm gonna go
Okay, go out there.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you do on 2 hours of Sunday, and you're telling me that if your pastor says, hey, do this 2 hours, whatever you need to do, you go home, you're hungry, you're on fire. But then Monday you're not because somebody makes you mad, or Tuesday or Wednesday. Why? Because you're programmed. You don't like it. You don't want to hear it, but you're programmed. Stop following people. You're following people. You're following. And then you're asking someone else to help you follow. To make you good and feel good about following. Stop following people. Period. If you stop following people, you'll lead. They're counting on you to follow. Put something on the internet, something on Twitter, you follow. You're going to get something and cook something, you're going to follow. You're going to tell everybody what you're doing because you're following. Because you need someone to tell you it's okay. Stop. Slow down, killer. Everyone does not need to know your business. We're programmed. We're programmed to do that. Can we be different? Can we change the game? And we will. Because you are some of the most amazing people in this world. And you're afraid of yourself. That's a good problem. You're afraid of yourself. But you're so complex and amazing that all you have to do is just surround yourself with some good people, and inherently you feel it. Your intuition, women, you feel it. Guys, you feel it. It's just that mental and emotional part of us that says, I'm just going to go and do this. And we know it's not right, but it feels good. That's why we got diabetes and sickle cell anemia, because we always want to do something that feels good, that fried stuff. I'm being honest. I love you all. Whatever I think in my mind, I'm going to tell you. The next one's going to be a dialogue with some of my friends and people that have called in, or not called in, excuse me, that have sent in messages asking questions. I just really want you to understand a few things, people out there. Stop believing what everyone tells you and stop looking at the television, internet, TikTok, Facebook, and that's your life. You're programming your kids. You're programming people that think you're influential. And it's going to affect them for the rest of their life. There is a responsibility in your words and how you treat people, whether you understand them or not. It is a... The truth is this, when you really think about it, we know what to do and how to treat people. We know what it is to make people feel amazing because we know how it feels. We choose not to do it because we're either mad at them, don't believe them, unsettled issues, or underlying animosity, if we're being completely honest. And then we don't want to discuss it because we're afraid of the outcome. We don't know how they're going to react, and we don't know how to say it. So it festers in till someone dies in our culture, in other cultures. We never say a word. I'm not going to be that person. I encourage you not to be that person. I think we owe it to every single human being, especially our family that follows us, not to be that person. As much as you can, enjoy yourself and have fun, but you can't do that. Can't leave them with that. You better, we're better, we know better, so now we just make a choice. And we can make any excuse we want to, as with anything in life. I hope you don't. So, take the red pill. Never be complacent in life because you're never standing still. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. You believe that. I don't care how you dress that up. And you are better than that. And you're not going to be like your great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather and grandmother. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have cars. They didn't have the intelligence that you have. So make them proud. Every one of you. Don't be programmed. And really look into what I'm saying to you. From your childhood to now. To your job, to your church, to your television, to when you get up every single day You go by the same program. It's in you. Look at it. And until you change it, life will be the same for you every day until you die. I'm leading you to the water. It's an old adage. Not real good, but most people understand. Hope you drink. D Mainstream. Raw Talk with Respect. This is my monologue. Kudos to Miss Dana for the Raw Thoughts moniker and the Dwayneisms. I'll shoot them Dwayneisms out to you. They're pretty nice. They really are. Make you think. Like, don't think. Feel. Shoot you some more. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to all of my subscribers, my feedback, my friends, family. I love you all. What comes to my mind, I will definitely say. And if you have an idea, let me know. You all mean the world to me, especially my family. See you soon.